Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Keller Williams Realty Technologies presentation. We are so excited to have you all with us today for our leading edge in KW technology. We do have a special guest joining us today, and this special guest and their team are responsible for creating a lot of the content and the information that is shared with you all during family reunion, during mega camp. Now, I know we all envision Gary Keller sitting there researching on his couch, going through every single piece of material that has to do with the real estate industry, and then presenting that information. Well, we all know better. We know that Gary leverages everything that he does, and KW Research is no different. The research that's done through Keller Williams is done by our research team. A tremendous amount of work, a tremendous amount of experience is out there. And Adi is the one that's going to be joining us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Adi Pavlovic to our Senior Technology Research Analyst. Welcome, Adi.
Yeah, happy to be here and represent the research team. I'm excited.
All right, so many of you all may have heard or seen Adi if you have been to the State of the Company address. What other sessions have you been on the big stage with Gary on?
I've done the market update at Mega Camp and also some technology presentations.
Okay, so you'll hear and see Adi very often. He's been a great member of our team and really bringing a lot to the research group itself. So now that we've met Adi, let's talk a little bit about what we're gonna learn today. We are going to talk about the KW Research team. We're going to introduce them, a little bit about what they do, where they came from, what they do, how they do it, and then, of course, why that's important to you as agents and how we can help them possibly in the near future. All right, so let's get started by introducing the KW Research team. Will you walk me through this lovely group of individuals?
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So starting with Ruben Gonzalez, me and him together have been on stage to compliment Gary Keller and Jay Papasan for the vision speech at Mega Camp and Family Reunion. Ruben Gonzalez, he's our staff economist. So he tracks this month in real estate numbers. And he does a lot of research for us about the impact of the economy, international dynamics such as China, and obviously most recently in the UK, the oil and gas industry, and things of that sort to see how they impact the real estate market and help us forecast that out. So he works very closely with Gary Keller and a lot of our executives. Myself, Adi Pavlovic, I'm the Senior Technology Research Analyst. I get a lot of questions of what does that mean, not just from the industry, but people outside the industry as well. And I kind of keep a pulse on the real estate tech market, which, as many of you know, over the last 2 years has had tremendous growth, not just in funding, but the number of new entrants and companies trying to penetrate the real estate, either to make the lives of agents easier, consumers, or trying to disrupt the industry as well. So my job is kind of twofold. Half of it is I demo about 2 to 3 startups a week, which can get pretty taxing. Yeah. And I just hear their pitch. I get to meet the entrepreneurs behind the company and get to see the products. And so that kind of lets me keep a pulse on innovation. I mean, some of these companies will be working out of a garage. Some of them will be very, very successful companies that are moving from a different vertical, such as automotive or healthcare, and they're trying to impact the real estate industry. And then that's about 50% of what I do. The other 50%, I survey our agents, so survey you guys. So that's the greatest resource the research department has, is we have the largest sample size of real estate agents on the planet. And so we're very carefully and intelligently, we survey you guys in small groups to understand what your pain points are, what are your likes, what are your dislikes, what are your challenges that you meet every day, not just with technology, but other behaviors as well. And so those are the 2 primary functions of my job. So when you combine those 2, it kind of puts me in a good place to advise our executives on innovation and technology and what's working, what's not, and potential third-party partners that we should pursue. So that's kind of a long-winded explanation of what I do.
That's great.
Moving along, Michelle Figgs. I've actually worked with Michelle in the past. My previous employer, IHS, large research firm. She's our industry analyst, meaning she keeps tabs on all of our competition, some of the new entrants, and also kind of what the market's doing. She tracks our market share and our competitive agent count and units and volume and things of that sort. And then getting to Swapna Belair, she's probably got one of the newest, most exciting gigs in research. Is she's our consumer research analyst, which is a new position we've never had before in the research team. And honestly, this might be the largest research team Keller Williams has ever had.
Well, I remember when it was just Dave Jink, so yeah, that's
which kind of is parallel with the company's growth. Right?
Sure, exactly.
And so Swapna, she does a lot of research on the consumers, on millennials, buying and selling behaviors and how those are changing throughout the years. And so as you can tell, each analyst kind of has a specialty. And then we also do general research projects that the executives and the RDs sometimes will put us to. And then our leader and director is Jim Talbot, who's been with the company for a long time, knows the ins and outs of Keller Williams, has worked in multiple departments, and we're very lucky to have him on board and lead us and help us present to the executives and the greater agent population.
That's great. And I just wanted you all to take a note at something that Adi was mentioning while he was introducing this team. Our leadership is very visionary, and that vision is not only looking at those startups that are coming in that are going to help our agents, that are going to help our offices be profitable, but the ones that are going to disrupt the industry. Those are the ones we have to be aware of, and we have to be diligent about, and we can learn some things from them. In the long run, of course, we're going to be the major disruptor in the industry, and this is the group that's going to help us to do that with the information they're collecting. Also, having a team that is focusing now on the client for life, if you will, the consumer, is just another great advantage. This is all a part of being with the Keller Williams system, and it just goes to show the track that we're headed down.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. So let's talk a little bit about what you do, and I love your explanation of what you do. So I'm going to let you roll that out once again. So tell us, if somebody asks, what does research do? What's your answer for them?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. It's really combining what we call the quantitative with the qualitative. So, when someone asks you, how is the market doing? It's a very loaded question, right? There's some numbers and statistics behind that, quantitative, and then there's also about what do those numbers mean, qualitative. So, our role is to combine the two, and so what I mean by that is, first of all, there's secondary research that we read all the time. So this is any research study you see out there published by National Association of Realtors, the Harvard Joint Housing Commission studies, Census Bureau, things like that. So obviously we keep track of that. That's just research that other people are investing and spending money on. And then we have what's primary research. That is when we survey you guys and we collect data on our own. So we pay to have access to data through a company called Terradatum. They provide us with our market statistics. And then we have a couple of other resources that we use. For instance, I have a tool that I leverage that scrapes SEC forms. So anytime a company raises money or investing, and has the word real estate in it, it comes across my desk. And this is how I kind of find out the early entrants, the companies that no one's heard about. I can see that if they've raised as little as $1,000, that they become instantly on my radar, and I have a team of 2 junior analysts that will reach out and demo and kind of see what they're up to, ideally before anyone else. It gives us a competitive advantage. So, my role really revolves around the tech startups, the tech companies coming into the play. It's funny when I try to tell people what I do for a living, just because this role doesn't exist. And I give kudos to Keller Williams for having the visionary that hired me 2 years ago. I remember when Keller Williams approached me, I told them I know a whole lot about tech. That's what my career has evolved around. And research, I don't know a whole lot about real estate. And they said, perfect, that's exactly what we need. And I was kind of caught off guard by that.
Why do you think that was?
Because they wanted someone to look outside of the box, and they wanted to have someone new come in with very little experience about real estate, but having the understanding that a lot of innovation usually comes outside of the industry. Which just goes to show, the founders of Zillow and Trulia didn't come from real estate, they came from travel. And so, for instance, I keep very close tabs on how the travel industry has changed over the last 10 years to give us indication of what these companies might be influenced by to do in real estate as well. So So anyway, so that's how I got introduced to Keller Williams about 2 years ago, and the role's grown, and the research team has grown, and our resources have grown, and so we collect a lot of data and information from companies in very creative ways, I would say, and then our job is to take all this data and create reports that we present to our executives and to you guys as well, to indicate what does that mean for the market as it is, and we also Gary encourages to do a lot of forecasting. He's always concerned about what's next, and so we do a lot of forecasting. And if anyone knows, no one knows the future. If I did, I would be super wealthy, which I'm not. Yeah. But the goal is to get it as close as possible, and so we have worst case, best case scenarios, and we track those metrics on a quarterly basis.
So how do you all typically do your research? You said that you track metrics, you get a lot of these reports, and so throughout that is how you all collect that research?
Yeah, it all starts with the intelligent question. What does this mean? Who is this? How can we accomplish X, Y, and Z? And so, that's the fun part about research. It revolves around curiosity and aggregation of knowledge. And so we go out there, people, the execs ask us really intelligent questions, our agents ask us really intelligent questions, people within this building ask really intelligent questions, and our job is to get an answer, or as closely as possible. And so that's kind of what drives our workflow, are those questions, and then we go out and find ways to collect the information, we analyze it to see what does it mean, and then we present it.
Speaking of intelligent questions, Rob is asking a great question. He's asking, do you influence the internal KW systems, the internal KW technology systems? So the things that we're using in technology today or will be using in the future, tell us a little bit about how you all influence that.
Yeah, so I work very closely, as you can imagine, with the internal technology team here at KWRI. They have a roadmap. So Steve Peterschmidt, like the new CTO, for example, has a personal roadmap of things they want to accomplish. And then when they want to look for, we do a lot of technology in-house, but we also leverage partnerships. And being the largest real estate company in the world, we can do that very successfully. And so the last 2 years that I've been here, I've been a part of the very discovery or the early stage of, who's the best partner to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And so I do vet those companies out. Some of them that have come across my table have been team leads and Playster, which we've thoroughly vetted out. And, and for anyone out there that sees these agreements, I want you to keep in mind, it's not just what they're currently doing, but it's what they're going to be doing in the next few years with us. That's the bigger picture. And so my job is to make sure not just the company and the product is doing well, but the people behind these companies are aligned with our vision as well.
So to answer your question, you all influence it very heavily, because first we come up with the idea, then you vet out the companies, get to know as much about them as possible, and then provide them with our future vision, see if they can be in line with that future vision.
Exactly.
Wow.
And the longer I've been here, the more and more exciting the opportunities are, as I've probably created the largest database of real estate tech companies in the industry. So we're very, very aware of who's innovating out there, how they're doing it, and how we can leverage them to align with our vision for the future.
Love that. So if anybody ever asks a question, if you guys are ever concerned about what we're doing with those disruptors in the industry, you know that we have a whole team handling that, and quite possibly, most likely, ahead of the curve, ahead of the systems. All right. Well, before I go to this one, I got one question to ask. Tell us what a typical, and I'm sure everybody here is curious on this, what's a typical session sitting down with Gary Keller before you guys go on stage or getting ready for a presentation? What's that like?
Yeah, it's a long process. Getting on a calendar is challenge number one. But after that, it's sitting down with Gary, and you can't come to Gary, without anything already in place. And so we come to him and say, here are the things that we think are important. Here are things that we want to present. What are your thoughts? And usually he'll have some other thoughts to add to that. Of how he wants to do it his way, of course. And then we just brainstorm. I'd say half of the time we spend with Gary is brainstorming about what things mean for the industry, what do they mean for KWRI, and how does that impact the lives of real estate agents. And so we brainstorm about things that we think are important to present, and then we just research as much as possible on them. So we become super just kind of aware of a specific topic that Gary's interested in. and we leave no stone unturned. So we'll go in and research it, and Gary will do it as well. And we also have a very intelligent publishing team here, Jay Papasan, who will have his team research a subject as well until we become experts in it, until we feel credible enough to present on that topic. And usually what happens through that process is you get more questions than answers. And then the job becomes prioritizing. What are the most important answers to go out there and to share with, the opportunity that we have to speak with our agents in such a short time. And so, and we do that on a weekly basis. We're just now about to ramp up doing it for Mega Camp here in August. And so we'll meet with Gary on a weekly basis and then brainstorm and meet and then go from there.
Wow. And I want y'all to hear something that Audie said, because it's such an important statement. And that was, we are trying to find ways of affecting the real estate agent's business, right? And in a positive way, right? And I'm assuming, right, to help them to become more profitable and do the business better.
Yeah, that's something we're looking into right now, and you guys might be more aware in the coming months. Is we always measure agent success by productivity, and someone had the question say, is that the best way to measure it? Because productivity does not mean profitability, right?
Sure.
So you can sell 100 homes, but if you have a team of 100 people,
what's your net?
What's your net,
sure.
And how happy are you? And so someone asked that question to us, and we said, that's a very interesting thing. Without diving deeply, into an agent's business, we're not going to know the profitability. But then does profitability even lead to quality of life? And so we're working on a quality of life survey to kind of understand what makes real estate agents as human beings happy. What increases the quality of life? Is it profitability? Is it working less? Is it expanding and things like that? And so there's definitely creative answers you can get to a very simple question, and that's something we're looking to do here soon.
And I think that answers a lot of our question on how does that help associates. And everything that we do is to help the associates' business to grow and to expand and for their quality of life to follow along, business worth owning, career worth having, life worth living.
I was just about to say that. We test those, right?
Sure.
Careers worth having is the one we're looking deeply into, and making sure that as we become the largest real estate company in the world, that the quality of life of our agents is improving as well.
Yeah, we promote agent business, and in order to have a successful business, you want your life to be successful as well. That's
exactly.
Great. My friend Laura in Arizona is asking, is KW going to be bringing instant home value landing pages, listings to leads as an example? Do you have any insight on that? We don't expect, if you don't know, to answer that, but what do you know about that?
Oh, we definitely do research on that. With Playster, we are looking to roll out some features that you can add to your websites to customize it. So kind of the goal for the whole Playster partnership was, how do you make one partnership agreement that an agent who sells 9 sites a year, which is about the average, and then one that does 90 can leverage the same product. And so we are looking to add features for the agent websites that you can have different technology tools. I can't comment whether or not instant home valuations will be on there, just for confidential reasons, but I will tell you that we are looking into that, and honestly we're looking at, does that have any impact on the consumer itself? Instead of just chasing the shiny object, we want to know what's the ROI of any feature that we implement.
Excellent. That's also very important to know. Just because we're not doing it doesn't mean we haven't thought of it or it hasn't been researched. It just may not be the right fit.
Yeah, we understand some of our competitors roll out a lot of features because they're shiny objects and they look cool, but I'd say we have one of the most robust research teams into understanding how does that really impact the agent's business, and more or less how does that impact the consumer experience.
Super. All right, and as you all see on the screen, it's time for any additional questions you have. I've answered any of the questions that have come through, but we're going to leave the webinar open for a few more minutes for any additional questions. And Audie, do you have anything further to add about your research team and where you guys are going to be doing anything going on with Mega Camp that we can look forward to?
Yeah, so the research team, most of our research has really kind of supported the execs and Gary Keller on stage for Mega Camp and Family Reunion. That's been our biggest outlet to publish research through them. But with KW Connect, we're definitely looking to be more proactive of sharing some of the internal research projects we do with you guys. And so we're underway with a few projects that I would encourage you to keep an eye out on KW Connect of some really powerful and insightful research that we want to share with you guys. And as our team grows, we want to make sure we become better at doing that.
Outstanding. All right. Well, I want to thank you very much, Audie, for being a part of today's presentation and all of the great information you provided. Be sure to thank the research team on our behalf for everything that they do. Really incredible group and really serving our agents well. And for those of you that are on call, as always, stay on the edge of real estate technology by using KW Technology. Hope you're making it a great day at Keller Williams. Bye-bye.